This is going to be a short, rambly video as to why I believe that BlazBlue Battle 3.0 or anything beyond BlazBlue Battle will ever happen. Now, this is a crossover game, so there's a lot of factors that go into its creation. And I kind of want to talk about as to why I personally believe that this game is not going to get an update, or why it hasn't had the update as of yet. So here we go. So BlazBlue Battle is a crossover game, obviously, between the likes of Persona 4, BlazBlue, obviously, Under Night in Birth, and Ruby, and then later on we got Senran Kagura, Arcana Heart, and ARCSYS Blitz come into the mix. That's 7 franchises to work with, right? So one of my reasons as to why, we don't have 3.0 yet is licensing issues. Licensing is a thing that companies have been getting screwed over by for like the longest time. Licensing is hard. Like, if you want to make a crossover game, you have to work with other companies and get contracts made, and then there's contracts on certain things you can use and certain things you can't use. So like that's probably a big factor as to why this game hasn't had an update yet. There's 7 franchises to work with. And yeah, you could say that some of these franchises, some of these companies and whatnot, do not care. Like, they can use whatever characters they want, yada yada. But okay, first of all, you have the characters already, right? You already have the characters. Then you have like music to work with, and you have to actually make the damn game itself, and it takes work. It's a lot of work. You can't just plop sprites into one place and call it a day. This isn't Mugen, okay? Mugen can get off on just being freaking, busted and weird and a mishmash of shit, but not BlazBlue Battle. This is an official game, so it has to be as official as humanly possible. And these are these other companies out there who just have like shit. They just maybe just they don't want to play ball, right? Like what if okay, Rooster Teeth. I don't know what Rooster Teeth are all about. I just know that they're not the best company to probably work with. So maybe Rooster Teeth is the reason why we don't have any Ruby characters. But there's also another thing that's another factor into this. And my next point would be the workload. Now, BlazBlue Battle 2.0, the special edition, it felt like a big update, They added 9 characters, they added a new story mode, they added more mechanics to the game, they changed up some stuff, the character select screen, the UI, all that shit. So it felt like a big update, It wasn't like a season pass where like, hey, we got a season pass out, Battle had a season pass, but I'm saying like this 2.0 expansion wasn't like a season pass where, you just release the season pass and the characters would come gradually. No, this felt like a giant update. So, and the workload probably was hard because first of all, you still have to create the sprites, right? Creating sprites is hard work. Like, I heard it's hard work, right? And on top of that, they had to create sprites for characters like the Ruby ones. They had to redraw Heart sprites from Arcana Heart. They had to redraw all of Under Night sprites, even as they were releasing them, because French bread sprites didn't line up exactly well with the Persona 4 and BlazBlue ones. They had to make Yumi sprite, they had to make Blitztank sprite, which, again, Blitztank probably didn't take too much work compared to everyone else, but it still took work. So they had to redo him. You've seen his sprite from ARCSYS BlitzConf. But yeah, that's my personal feeling. Plus, voice acting as well. Like, it takes a lot of work to try to get all that stuff together, especially with the amount of characters that this game now has. It has 53 characters, which means 51, because, you have 53 characters to work with, but in regards to voices, 51 because Blitztank and Neo doesn't talk, but still it's a lot of work. It's still a lot of characters, still a lot of work. And I know a lot of people say you got all these sprites here, like all these pre-made sprites, and just plop them in a game and call it a day. But it's not like that. I understand that there's a lot of reused sprites, but it still takes a lot of work. You still have to make the game at the end of the day. You still have to make sure these sprites interact with each other well, collide with each other well, fight against each other well, or things shit the bed. You gotta balance that stuff. And yeah, I know BlazBlue Battle isn't the best game with balancing, but you still have to balance that stuff. You can't just be Mugen and throw shit in and see what works. It's not like that. People call it the official Mugen, but it's not. It's just not. Mugen rides off that just random shit and craziness. BlazBlue Battle isn't like that. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's no Mugen. God damn, Mugen is just. Anyway, moving on from Mugen. Anyway, you still have to create the game. You still have to create the game, you still have to get all this stuff together, you still have to get voice actors together. It takes a lot of work, in Japanese and English too. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and that's one of the reasons why I believe that Battle 3.0 isn't happening yet. But I do have one more point. And that is being that I believe that Arc System Works thinks that Cross-Type Battle 2.0 is the end of it all. Because normally Arc System Works ends their games off these 2.0 updates, right? For example, we got Chrono Phantasma, BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, and that was essentially 1.0, right? And Chrono Phantasma Extend came out, and that was essentially 2.0. They did the same thing for BlazBlue Central Fiction, where BlazBlue Central Fiction 2.0 came out in arcades, and that was just the end of Central Fiction. Not counting the special edition, which is just a port, but still. Yeah, like I feel like with BBTAG 2.0, and they brought in 2 new franchises. They brought in Neo. They brought in a lot of shit. They brought in 9 characters and did a whole ass story mode for this update. So I feel like of all the things that would be the ending of Cross-Tag Battle, 2.0 would be it, and the special edition would be it. Because I just feel like this was the end. You know, I want to believe Arc System Works could do more with this franchise, but if they not franchise, but with this game, but if they believe 2.0 is the end, then I guess that is. There's nothing we can do about it. And I feel like they consider this the end, you know? I feel like they just consider it. It bums me out that we don't have more Ruby characters, but again, as I mentioned before, sprite working and collaborating with companies is hard. So maybe French Bread didn't want to play ball, or, you know, because Mori did express that he wanted more characters like Adam and Penny, but, you know, they haven't come in yet. And it's been a good while. They could have got in by now, you know what I mean? It's been, like, okay, it's been 2 years since 2.0 came out, right? It's been 2 years so far. But it's been 4 years since Cross-Type Battle has been announced. And this year it'll be 5. So, god damn it. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, if they wanted to play ball, if some of the other companies wanted to play ball, they would just have to work. And considering Ruby is one of the main 4 franchises, I feel like if one character can't get in, there's going to be a lot of questions, you know? And they can kind of get away with not introducing any other Arcana Heart, Senran, or Akatsuki Blitzkampf characters. And with the way that works out, it's like, okay, we have Heart from Arcana Heart, we have Yumi from Senran Kagura, and we have Akatsuki from Akatsuki Blitzkampf. They're 1 character each. And they probably added Blitz Tank just for memes, you know? And Neo's a popular Ruby character that they just had to add her in. It's not something Mori would have wanted added, but I feel like they just added her in because, you know, Neo's popular. They wanted to add her like a popular Ruby character in there. If they were going to get 1 Ruby character, I feel like Neo would have been the best choice. And again, licensing issues has to probably be the reason. This is all speculation on my end because I have no freaking idea what goes on behind Arc System Works' closed doors. There's no way I would ever know. But if this is licensing issues, and if it is what ARCSYS believes to be the end of Cross-Type Battle, just because they want it to be the end, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. I personally believe it feels incomplete because there's a bunch of other characters that should have gotten in, like more Arcana Heart characters, more Senran, more Akatsuki, more Ruby characters, and even more BlazBlue, Persona, Under Night. You know, I feel like more characters could have got in there, but again, that also contributes to, like, you know, the workload. It's like more voice actors to take care of, more interactions to take care of, more re-recordings, and more, you know, stuff to work with. Personally, there's also more stages I would have loved in, but, you know, again, that's just probably something they weren't really focused on. They put their amount of stages they want in, called it a day. But I personally believe that the one thing I personally believe out of all these points, that one I believe the most, is that Arc System Works considers 2.0 the very end of Cross-Tag. They believe that, you know, once they're done with 2.0, that's just the end of it. They wanted it to end like this, and there's nothing wrong with that for me personally, but I personally believe that I would have wanted more to it. Cross-Tag Battle is a game that just needed more to it. It just needs more. But again, there's nothing, you know, any one of us could do about it. It's just the end of it all. And it bums me out. It really bums me out because I definitely would want to see more. But hey, who knows? Honestly, I don't want to end this video off saying, yeah, Cross-Tag Battle is dead forever, which it probably not dead. That's the worst word to use. I think it's just done. It's done receiving developers support in the way of new content. Yeah, rollback is one thing. You know, that's I guess I can't call it content because it's outside the game itself. But yeah, I feel like, you know, Arc System Works once they add rollback to it, they just let it go. Simple as that. It's like Central Fiction. Once Central Fiction released Jubei and its 2.0 expansion with the rebalancing all the characters and everything, that was the end of that. That was just the end, and that's all there is to it. And I feel like that's the same thing with Cross-Tag Battle. It's just that's the end. And yeah. You know, honestly, tell me what you believe in the comment section below, because I definitely want to hear what you guys think. Why Cross-Type Battle hasn't had an update since 2.0. So, without further ado, I am out of here. Peace, everyone. I'm gone. Goodbye.